What do you say? What do you know?
What?
It's from Sopranos. It's fucking Vinny. If you know, you know.
I only watched that show once with my mom, like fucking forever ago. So
I love it. I am Stacy,
and I'm Hannah,
and this is Toxis. So nothing is really going on in my life, just lots and lots of snow. It's very cold. Love my cats, love my dog, hanging out with Hannah, you know, that kind of stuff. What about you, Hannah?
Oh, you know, about that. I've been, just being a glass cannon and raiding on Fallout and
going back to work soon?
Leading all the boys to glory because women are better.
So you're the glory hole?
I'm the glass cannon, not the glory hole. That's fucking gross. No, I am the DPS damage tank, and they all need to protect me.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
I destroy. Also, sad news.
I am the destroyer of worlds.
I am definitely the destroyer of worlds. On a less lighter note, my best friend from Thunder Bay's mom unexpectedly died.
Rest in peace, lady.
Yeah.
I didn't know her, but rest in peace.
I don't really have a lot of details yet, but I booked a plane and I'm flying there on Boxing Day, and I'm going to be there from Boxing Day until January 4th, and I'm going to try to help her, get her
as much as you can.
Shit sorted out, support, mental, emotional.
Yeah.
Help her clean
Spiritual.
her house, get things organized, have some time. Her daughter's going to go to her dad's for Christmas. So she won't be there most of it, so it'll just be us to,
Do you want to bring my sage out there with you, and you can sage your house?
No, she's probably going to need it.
Yeah. I'll tell you how to do it. It's really fucking simple, but I'll tell you how to do it when we are off air, because ain't nobody got time for that shit.
No. So I got big plans to go support my homie.
That's cool. That's cool.
Well, she was like a second mom to me. I used to go to her place in high school for lunch and dinners all the time, and holidays, spent Christmases there. She was pretty cool. She's pretty cool to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I had a second mom like that too, but it's a long time ago. Yeah. Hi, Rose.
Oh, Rose.
I still love you. Yeah, she was cool. She had the thick French accent, She was pretty cool. Yeah. And she smoked a lot of fucking oil.
Super off topic, but I saw there was a Jamaican bobsled team, so it was like cool running all over again.
Yeah. What, there's another one?
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
Right? I'll try to find it when we're off air, because this is totally off topic, but I just saw it, and it just came to mind when you were talking about the French accent.
Push the sled, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry if I offended anyone. I can't do a Jamaican accent, but I love the Jamaican accent.
I can't tell you. Hard pass.
Hard pass, yeah. So, do you want to just get right into this?
Down and dirty.
Somber, morbid, sad stuff?
It's either that or leaf blowers. So, yes.
Leaf blowers.
I can hear one.
Blowing leaves.
Right now, it's not blowing leaves. It's blowing fucking snow. People are lazy.
Yeah, people are lazy.
Angry.
Yeah, pick up a shovel. Fucking asshole.
Mm-hmm.
I had to shovel when I was little. Pick up a fucking shovel. Come on. So this is Canadian Genocide Part 2. The first one was pretty fucking rough. This one is not going to be any better. In fact, it's going to be a little worse.
Lot worse.
Because there was so much background info for the first episode. So, onward and fucking downward.
It's definitely not upward, I'll tell you that.
No. I'm going to start out with some quotes, okay? Genocide does not necessarily mean the immediate destruction of an entire nation. It is rather a coordinated plan of different actions aiming at the destruction of essential foundations of the life of national groups, with the aim of annihilating the groups themselves. Raphael Lemkin, Axis Rule in Occupied Europe, 1944. That's what he had to say about genocide. Next quote. Colonization is civilization. If we, the superior race, take the land of other races, we must utterly destroy the previous inhabitants. The disappearance of our local Indians is of little consequence. That was said by Sir Edward Bulwer Lytton, or, Satan, co-founder of British Columbia, and member of the Legislative Assembly, 1868.
Jesus.
Yeah. Next quote. I just got a blanket, well infected with smallpox, and I put it between my saddle blanket and a sweat pad. I went into all their villages with it, and I succeeded. All of the savages died of smallpox. That disgustingness was said by John McLean, Hudson's Bay Company trader and land speculator. This was the telling of his trip to the Chilcotins of BC in 1908. Next quote. I believe the conditions are being deliberately created in our Indian schools to spread infectious diseases. The death rate often exceeds 50%. This is a national crime. This was said by Dr. Peter Bryce to Indian Affairs Deputy Superintendent Duncan Campbell Scott on April 12, 1907. Shortly after this, Bryce was dismissed by Scott. Sounds an awful lot like...
I'm
get into it.
really not surprised.
And the last quote. If I were to choose to kill off half the Indian children in our care, there is no better instrument to use than your typical residential school. This was said by Neil Parker, Indian Affairs Superintendent, 1949.
Jesus fuck.
Yep, so everyone knew this was going on. Everyone knew they were deliberately killing these children. Just nobody gave a fuck.
Or maybe people were too scared to do anything about it.
They were, yeah, that.
I would say it's not that nobody gave a fuck, but I bet you the people that did were either silenced very heavily or treated just as badly as those children to keep them quiet.
Yeah. Well, it was
to get rid of them, possibly.
Mostly it was the native parents and family members of these children that wanted to do something. But as was told in the first one, you weren't allowed to go to a judge or put any kind of complaint against the schools, the church, or the government. So there was nothing they could do. And because there was so much, according to concerning white people, I should say, there was so much divisiveness from the government and the churches that the Indigenous were nothing but quote-unquote savages. And they were just going to kill your children and, all that kind of shit. That, they wouldn't do anything because they were more scared of the Indigenous people than they were of their churches and government and shit.
Well, and I would wager that even the people in the council, if they did speak up, would just be dismissed or gotten rid of. So
for
if
sure.
There was white people who didn't condone what they were doing. They would either silence them or get rid of them.
Yeah, well, yeah, there was doctors going in there saying this is abhorrent, and then the schools were like, okay, we're just not going to let doctors in anymore.
Yeah.
Because their whole goal was to get rid of the race. And to get rid of the race, you have to kill off the children. So they cannot procreate anymore. So that was the whole fucking goal, and they were actively achieving it at the time. So, all right. They talked about genocide like they were talking about what to buy at the store. So nonchalant and unfeeling. The Indigenous population were not human in their eyes. How gross is that? That, again, harkens to fucking Nazi Germany and the Jews. They weren't human to them. They were subhuman.
It also reminds me of...
But this happened before.
Not that it's relevant in any way, shape, or form, but Fallout.
What do you mean?
The premise of the Fallout games and the story is the American government profiting off the end of the world and systematically making it happen and finding a way to profit off of it and keeping the best and most brightest and most richest people in vaults and cryopods and waiting until the surface was ready to be habitable again to make the perfect race with only Americans.
Gross. That sounds like something America would do.
Yeah, that's literally the premise of Fallout. They engineered the end of the world on purpose and found a way to profit from it. It's gross.
Gross, yeah. Yeah, so they weren't human in their eyes. How do people like this lay their heads on pillows at night? This is real. This actually happened in Canada. What an absolute cancer on the place I call home. I am embarrassed, heartbroken, and so very sorry that our ancestors may have participated in this fucking horror. The extermination that Christian Europeans perpetrated on any and all Indigenous groups in the Americas is the largest genocide in the recorded history of the world. Many Canadians deny that this ever happened, no doubt getting their whitewashed history from government green-lighted history books, but they say Canadians would never have participated in such a thing. Canadians of today? Probably not. But us white people, all of our ancestors came from Europe, and we all know England, especially, had no qualms about conquering, decimating, and enslaving other nations. Which is true. The genocide perpetrated on our native peoples and on Canadian soil was quite unique when you really think about it. Think of the genocide that everyone knows about. Nazi Germany, or Nazi Europe, I should say. I have to get this page apart because I have sausage fingers. Yeah, but this is the one that everyone knows about so well.
The only thing that people know about? There's so many others.
12 million humans murdered in under 10 years. It was done quickly and quite noticeably in occupied Europe. Whereas the native peoples of Canada, really all of North America, was done over hundreds of years. Also, this genocide was done in the name of the Christian God, though I dare say power was the ultimate mitigating factor. The number is staggering, to say the least. 130 million Indigenous people were murdered during the long, brutal genocide of North America, north of Mexico. 130 million Indigenous people. I can't even, that number is just so fucking big. It's hard to reconcile that in your head, or in my head anyway. So you may ask, why hasn't Canada ever been prosecuted for genocide? Well, there is a little loophole in the Genocide Convention that says that genocide is the intent to commit the crime and not the crime itself. With Canada and the U.S., were most certainly guilty of this crime, they inserted the following phrase to save their asses. Genocide means the intent to destroy, in whole or in part, any national, ethnic, or religious group.
Or racial.
Yeah. In a report to the House of Commons in 1952, Prime Minister Lester B. Pearson said, quote, if the original draft of genocide introduced in the UN General Assembly had remained, we in Canada would have had to close every Indian school in our country. And since that was an impossibility, the Genocide Convention had to be modified, unquote. So instead of
stopping it and making people accountable for it, they modified it so they wouldn't. How?
Yeah.
How?
So ever since 1948, both countries and religious groups have always cited the word intent as a means to escape. They weren't intending to hurt them. They were just putting them in schools and shit. There was no I just moved the table. There was no intent to hurt them. That is what they're saying to the world.
In one of those quotes that you said, that the person purposely took smallpox blankets to kill.
But the world didn't know about that.
That's intent.
That is intent. But the world didn't know about that.
Ugh. I don't understand.
Yeah.
That's clearly intent. When you're purposely trying to give people smallpox and kill them, that is most certainly fucking intent.
And moving healthy children in with tuberculosis children.
Knowing it's contagious.
That's intent.
They will die.
Yeah. But that was never talked about.
If it was accidental and they were fucking eating in the same kitchen, you didn't know, that's not a big deal, not your fault. But if you purposely put them together to get them sick, that is fucking intent.
Yeah. Yeah. But the genocide blankets and the kids being housed, healthy kids.
The genocide blankets.
Pretty much, though. Pretty much.
I mean, yeah.
The smallpox blankets, and the tuberculosis, putting healthy kids with the tuberculosis kids. I'm pretty sure that came out from the victims themselves. So that wasn't like, even if they were even if the government and the church were talking about it, they destroyed so many records and stuff that it wouldn't have been found out anyway.
Really?
So ever since 1948, both countries and religious groups have always cited the word intent as a means to escape. Prosecution for their crimes. It is almost impossible to find the actual intent of genocide when it comes to the slaughter of 130 million human beings. Now let's talk about some homicides in the schools. It would be tough to track down records of children who passed away in these schools, as the records were all either falsified or destroyed. It would also be tough to pinpoint one perpetrator, as it seems everyone who worked within and peripherally around the schools were all complicit. Many survivors have come forward with horrendous stories and memories of abuse, torture, and even murder. Here are just a few.
Looking for individual cases of murder in residential schools is like asking why fetuses are killed at an abortion clinic. That quote is from Harriet Nahani. I don't know if I said that right. She was an Alberni school survivor, February 9th, 1998. And keep in mind, at this point in time, this is 4 days before my 11th birthday.
Wow. So it's not like this is ancient history.
No. I was 11. I was turning 11 here. I can almost tell you where I was living and what grade I was in and what I was doing and who my teachers were at that point.
Yeah.
Very fresh. The prosecution need not prove the individual culpability of the death camp guard or of the high state official when the system itself was geared to mass destruction. Any single individual serving such a system is assumed to be complicit and guilty by the fact of his association with it.
Wow. Atrocities like gang rapes, tortures, beatings, solitary confinement without food were pretty commonplace in the residential schools. There were also disciplinary tortures such as electric shock used. Please keep in mind all of this was being perpetrated against children. Children whose only crime was not being white. The absolute demons that worked at these schools were virtually above the law, as they were being protected by the RCMP, the Canadian government, and the higher-ups in the various churches.
If you want a little bit of an idea of the 130 million, that is the entire population of Mexico.
Oh my fuck.
The entire country, 131.9 million. The next highest population is Japan at 123.
And when you think about it,
country.
Oh my God. That's mind-boggling, unfathomable, disgusting. Ugh.
We don't even come near that amount of people as a country, as a whole. Our entire country, Canada, as of 2025, only has 40 million people. So that's 3.25 times our entire current population.
Holy fuck.
That's 3.25 Canadas.
Oh. Fuck. Really, when you... Oh.
Yeah. It puts it into perspective pretty largely.
Disgustingly. Yeah.
3.25 Canadas have died in this.
Fuck. Whew. On December 18th, 1995, Harriet Nahani, a resident school survivor and eyewitness to a homicide, Hannah just read a quote by her, went public at a protest in the United Church offices in Vancouver, BC. This protest was organized by Kevin Annett, the author of this amazing book where I'm getting so much information. This book is called Hannah Banana?
Murder by Decree, the Crime of Genocide in Canada. A counter report to the Truth and Reconciliation Commission.
Thank you very much, darling. Murder by Decree, the Crime of Genocide in Canada. Harriet recalled being in a residential school in Port Alberni, BC, run by the United Church on Christmas Eve in 1946. This is where she witnessed Principal Alfred Caldwell kill 14-year-old Maisie Shaw. Just a little bit about Maisie now. She came from the tiny village of Nitinat, I hope I'm saying that right, on the remote west coast, again, British Columbia. Her father was Walter Shaw, a fisherman, and her mother was Ella Williams. Maisie was born on August 26, 1932, in one of those odd occurrences of history. She shared her birthday with her father, just like John and Sean Lennon, who had been born August 26, 1905 in New Westminster. Her mother was born in Alberni in 1906.
I was at the bottom of the stairs in the basement. I always went to the bottom of the stairs to sit and cry. I heard her crying. She was looking for her mother. I heard Caldwell yelling at the supervisor for letting the child run around on the stairwell. I heard him kick her, and she fell down the stairs. I went to look. Her eyes were open. She wasn't moving. They didn't even come down the stairs. I never saw her again.
Isn't that awful? Like, I have goosebumps. That's awful. After Maisie's death, Principal Caldwell told her parents that she had been hit by a train. However, in January 1986, Kevin and Annette found Maisie's provincial death certificate that states she died from acute rheumatic pericarditis or heart failure. Heart failure.
Okay.
Furthermore, this quote-unquote official document had only been put into the archives in December 1995.
She was kicked down the stairs. How do you turn that into a heart attack? Well, and then you said she was hit by a train first.
Yeah, so which is true? I believe Harriet. I don't believe this fucking douche canoe.
It's confusing.
This would have been right around the time that Harriet Nahani went public with her knowledge of the murder of Maisie. That's when the death certificate was put in the archives.
Well, we better make this quickly.
Yep. What a coincidence. When asked about Maisie Shaw, Brian Young from the Provincial Coroner's Office said, quote, "There was no death certificate for Maisie Shaw before last month," unquote. Kevin Annette asked, "Is that normal? No death certificate?" Young answered, "With Indians it is. It probably meant that she was just shoved in the ground somewhere." Fucking gross. And now her family, her parents, don't even know where she is. They can't, because a lot of people need that place to go mourn, right? And her family will never have that. The death certificate says that Maisie was buried by the Port Alberni Funeral Home, yet there are no records of her ever having been there. Also, Stephen Hume, a reporter for the Vancouver Sun, said that he'd seen these things before. Quote, "It's just a crude forgery," unquote. Oh, this is good. So the day after Harriet Nahani went public, the United Church issued a statement. They claim that the church, quote, "has not engaged in any form of cover-up or deception in relation to this sad occurrence," unquote. It was the very next day. I mean, I don't even think people had time to accuse them of anything at that point. Methinks thou doth protest too much. So a few more things from the Port Alberni Residential School.
A second murder by Principal Alfred Caldwell was reported just 1 week after Harriet's story went public by another eyewitness, Archie Frank. Archie told Sun reporters that he saw Caldwell beat a boy named Albert Gray senseless for taking a prune out of the jar. Albert died the next day and was buried in secret. After Albert died, Archie and another boy named Stanley Sam were ordered by Principal Caldwell to bury him in the woods behind the school. 2 days before he was to be video interviewed by Kevin Annette, Archie Frank died of undisclosed causes in January of 2000. The same week that another key witness died, Willie Sport, who was also scheduled for an interview with Annette. Another former inmate at the United Church School in Port Alberni, Harry Wilson, went public in 1997.
Isn't it interesting those two dudes died?
Right before they're about to be interviewed? Maybe? In 1967, I discovered a dead body behind the Caldwell Hall at the school. 2 kids from Cheshat Reserve, I don't know if I said that right, and me found a young girl. She was about 16, lying dead, completely naked and covered in blood. There was blood everywhere. I ran and told Principal, Mr. Andrews, and he said he was calling the RCMP, but I never saw them show up and the girl's body disappeared. Less than 2 months later, after I told Andrews about finding her body, I was shipped out to Nanaimo and put in a hospital there for 3 months. I was expelled from the school in 1970. I was sent to Bella Bella Hospital then, The Mounties had committed me, and I was strapped down in a bed. I was in there like that for months. And this is September 17th, 1997. So I'm 10 years old here.
Isn't that horrible? Isn't that horrible? They put him in a fucking insane asylum.
Harry was approached by two Aboriginal officials of the state-funded Nuu-chah-Nulth Tribal Council, Ron Hamilton and Charlie Thompson. Just before I was to talk about the girl I found, Ron Hamilton comes up to me and says, "I wouldn't talk about her if I was you. If you say anything about it, you'll be sorry." As Nuu-chah-Nulth Tribal Council official Charlie Thompson left our circle, he walked by me and said to me, "Harry, you have half a brain and no one will miss you if you're found floating face down in the water." When he was later found dead on a Vancouver street, Harry Wilson's death received the same attention, as had the young girl whose body he found when he was 11. Yikes.
Horrible. Horrible.
Harry's friend. This quote is by Harry's friend Dennis Talio. I don't know if I'm saying that right. He's another Alberni school inmate, also found dead. Yep. The same establishment, 1965. According to Dennis, "We even found a dead body at the school. It was in the fall of 1965. We were playing soccer in the backfield behind the school, where it was really covered in weeds. In those weeds, I came across the remains of a body, maybe 3 feet long. It was decomposed and you could see a lot of skeleton. I ran to the school and then we had to call the RCMP. After that, the RCMP came to us and told us not to say anything about what we had discovered in the field. I thought this was strange. Why would they want us to keep it quiet?"
Pardon me. Weird,
yes.
Eh?
Pardon you for interrupting.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
Very shady. All very shady. In April 2008, a forensic specialist and his team conducted a survey of the suspected mass burial site in these hills identified by survivors. His survey confirmed what they had reported. The land has all the classic signs of multiple burials, the telltale vegetation in the presence of regular sinkholes, and the undulating terrain. It covers more than 100 square meters.
Wow.
That kind of disturbance means that a lot of digging's gone on there. I've examined mass graves in Kosovo and Bosnia, and what I saw behind the Alberni school bears all the same features. So this statement is Dennis Ball to Kenneth Annett, April 3rd, 2008, when he's showing his survey map of all the sinkholes.
Jesus. Whew. My God. Just horrible, eh? Now, based on evidence and eyewitness accounts of the burial sites, Kevin Annett released a list of 18 burial sites at various residential schools across Canada on April 10th, 2008. This list garnered no traction with the Canadian news, nor with the police.
Now, keep in mind, in 2008, I'm 20 years old,
and
I'm just about, in the next 6 months or so, thinking about becoming a mother.
Yeah, 2008, I was a mother twice over. The former Catholic Kamloops Indian School was a special treatment school. This meant that children who were repeat runaways or who wouldn't comply were sent to a place like this. William Combs, a survivor of this awful prison, said of this place,
"They had a furnace going 24/7 that was totally out of bounds. And me and a friend witnessed the sisters and brothers taking what looked like little bodies under white wrappings or white cloths and putting them into the furnace. The Queen came and visited us for 3 days, and a lot of children went missing then. Many children that weren't cooperative like myself. I wasn't cooperative. They were put with the children who were sick with tuberculosis. They put me and my brother Ernie in with the ones who were sick because we wouldn't comply."
Fucking just... Oh. Lorna McNaughton was imprisoned at and a survivor of the Anglican Mohawk Indian School in Brantford, Ontario. This place was also known as the Mush Hole. Her brother Rufus was an eyewitness to a horrible sight. Lorna recalls,
"After my brother got better, he didn't go back to the mush hole," he said. you know what happened to all of those kids who were there at the mush hole? You remember that? And I said, yeah, our dorm was just filled with girls, he said. Yeah, so ours was filled with boys. You know what happened to them? Or sorry, you know what happened to them? And I said, no. And he said, they called in the army and they took them to the army base and they shot them. They stood them along this big hole and they shot them. When the bullets hit them, they fell into the hole. And when they were all done, those that hadn't fallen into the hole, some of them were still alive, and some of them were still alive in the hole. And he said they came along, and I want to say a bulldozer. That's what comes to my mind, but I'm really not sure that my brother had said a bulldozer. They came along with a big machine anyway, and they shoved them all into that big hole and covered it up. And he says that's what happened to them. I must have been about 8, I guess, 7 or 8. Let's see, that must have been in 43 or 44. And this is from an interview January 2012. You can find it on YouTube, actually, as well.
Yeah. Fucking gross. Just disgusting.
Just reading that, my lip is vibrating.
Yeah. In Cranbrook, BC, stood the Catholic St. Eugene Indian School, of which Virginia Baptiste was a survivor. She died suddenly in 2004 after she had confronted the church about all the missing kids. She said,
"We spent years documenting all the graves around here because we wanted the world to know. Our mistake was to trust the whites. In 1992, we contacted the provincial government and asked the Heritage Conservation Branch to come out and inspect the mass graves we mapped. We found more than 20 of them between Cranbrook and Nelson. The government people showed up on a Thursday, and by Sunday night, they'd brought in the backhoes and wiped out most of the sites. Completely gone. Since then, we don't tell nothing to nobody."
Fucking right. Helene Armstrong, a member of the Osoyoos tribe, I hope I said that right, and somewhat of a local amateur historian, said,
"We were running in from the yard, and just because we were running, that's why Nitsky hit Vicky. Beryl told the Vancouver Province newspaper in May 2009. First she got me in the back with a 2x4, and then she got Vicky over the head.
Oh.
Then by the next morning they told us she had died."
Just...
In May of 2009, May 29th, I'm delivering my son, and I am 22 years old. 22 years old.
Mm-hmm.
He is only 16 and a half years old, and this happened the month he was born.
No, this happened way before. This is when she told the story.
Oh, this is the report. Okay,
yeah.
Never mind. My bad.
Where am I here? Pierre Kruger, a member of the Osoyoos Nation as well, and I'm going to try to say this right.
Well,
Duke Habor, which is a sect of Russian dissenters. They are known for their radical pacifism, said,
"There were 4 of us who dug the grave. Myself, my brother, Mel Patsy, and Albert Cardinal. It was right next to the staff garden. The boy was from up north somewhere. Every Sunday in church, Mr. Ludford used to preach to us, and he always ended by saying, 'Remember, the only good Indian is a dead Indian.' And we all had to repeat his words." Huh. I remember it being the only good Frenchman is a dead Frenchman, not Indian. That's really backwards.
Yeah. Vicky Stewart, an innocent little 9-year-old girl, was brutally murdered by the United Church's Edmonton Residential School. Edmonton Residential School Supervisor Ann Kaniski. Vicky's sister Beryl witnessed the crime and recalls,
"The official cause of death for Vicky was tuberculosis. The RCMP and the United Church still stick by that story and refuse to investigate further. Despite Beryl's eyewitness account, basically saying that they were running away from this lady, and then she was hit in the back by a 2x4, and then Vicky got the 2x4 over the head, the previous quote that I read.
The little 9-year-old girl.
Significantly, the Edmonton school principal, when Vicky was killed, was the same Alfred Caldwell who killed the two children on the West Coast years before, according to witnesses Nahani and Frank.
Fucking gross, man. Of course, she just said that the official cause of death was tuberculosis, and of course the church and the RCMP still stand by this.
I'm pretty sure that fucking 2x4 wound to her head is not tuberculosis, though.
No, probably
I'm just
not.
saying.
Sylvester Green was also a prisoner at the Edmonton school, and he said... Oh, she already read that one. We're all mixed up. It's okay.
You're all mixed up.
This is where we will leave it for this episode because I think we all need some time to process all this horrendous information. This is really, really hard for me to research. I need to stop so often because I'm just so mad, or I actually cried while researching some of this. And just, it's really overwhelming to hear all this stuff. Like, you hear about the residential schools and you hear about the atrocities and stuff like that, but when you're reading actual quotes from actual survivors and witnesses and such, it's so hard. It's really hard. And then Hannah reading them back, it's...
makes it really real. Well,
yeah.
And just giving you the size of the amount of people, like that's all of Mexico or 3.25 Canada's. Like, it really puts into perspective the amount of death.
Yeah, it's so fucking horrible. I urge everyone to do their own research, of course, about everything we talk about. Do your own research, but especially about this. And, I mean, this happened in the States, too. So, if you're listening from the States, do your own research there, too. Kevin Annett also released a documentary in 2007 called Unrepentant. I will try to find this. I don't know if I'll be able to find it. Hannah's looking right now, I believe, because it's Hannah. Yeah, being that it's all that people the size of Mexico, and for many years, I don't know if it holds true today, but for many years, Mexico City was the most populated capital city in the world, so that sort of says something as well. How many more people would we have in our country if we hadn't... I don't want to say we because I didn't do it, but if Canada and the churches and the RCMP hadn't committed these fucking horrendous crimes.
You can rent it or buy it on Prime Video by the looks of it. So I think we're going to have to do that. I mean, you can also find it on YouTube as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks like the only place is Prime Video to watch.
It's so sad.
That I can find.
So sad.
Deliberate and systematic extermination of non-Christians.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fucking gross.
Ugh.
And I can say that because my first love, my first boyfriend, the very first person that I ever loved, that I ever allowed to see me naked, that I ever experienced any sexual experiences with, he was Indigenous. He was from Fort William First Nations Reserve. And a very proud Native, and a very talented...
Fort William, it was called?
Yeah.
Gee, that sounds Indigenous, doesn't it?
Right? And he was a wonderful human, a very successful human. I was included with all of his friends. I was the only white girl. I was the white girl. And they all treated me so well, and I treated them well, minus the whole parent thing. You know, you're not a Christian, you guys aren't married, you shouldn't sleep with the same man.
Blah, blah,
all
blah.
that weird, gross religious stuff. I was never afraid. I never... You know, I'd ride my bicycle down to the reserve after work, and we'd all play poker and watch movies. And
yeah.
Some of the best times of my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only thing I can say that I really dislike, though, is the hate that I get, that we all get from natives.
I really can't blame them.
I didn't torture you. I had nothing to do with it. I
don't think they hate us so much for what happened back then. I think it's more about all the racism that still occurs today.
Well, I don't feel the same way because I work in public sector and social, and I get treated like a human fucking garbage can. And the moment you don't tell them what they want to hear, you're fucking white racist, you fucking cracker bitch, you're white whore, this, that. I've been called every name in the book. I didn't do any of those things to your ancestors. Just a regular guy doing a regular job, trying to help you, but you treat me like I'm garbage. I have the same thing happen from the white homeless people, or the addicts, or this or that.
I was going to say that's not going to be every Indigenous person. There's pockets of disgusting people in every fucking race, creed, religion, what have you.
If I were to choose out of 10 people that walk through my door, at least 50% of the Indigenous people are really mean to me for zero reason. And it's probably just because some white person was shitty to them, or a white police
it's systemic racism
was shitty to them. But it wasn't me, though. So
no, but
that kind of shit really bothers me, because I go out of my way to help everyone. So
but
I didn't do this to you.
It's sort of like the not all men for women. They don't know which white person is going to be good to them.
No, but when I'm literally super nice to you and you're an ignorant asshole, it's pretty self-explanatory. Because
this fucking province is... It's called fucking Little Texas or Canadian Texas for a reason, man, because they like their guns and they like their fucking racism.
I could tell you it's not me, though, because I treat every person that walks through my door with the utmost respect until they open their mouths. And then after that, you get what you deserve, no matter what color you are.
But it's really hard to get away from... I mean, I wouldn't know. I was born a fucking white person. So it's really hard for me to fucking speak on this. But from what I garner, what I think I understand, for people of color, it's really, really difficult to get away from that systemic racism, to get away from that systemic hate of the racism. And most of the racism comes from white people. So, it's just so hard to get away from it. But, I don't know. I'm not a person of color, so I can't. I can't.
You experience your own racism, though. You're a woman.
That's true. That's true. John Lennon has a song like that, and I'm not going to say that woman is the N-word of the world. Yeah. Yeah, and it's a good song. But anyway... I digress. We love who?
We love John Lennon.
We do. I love him so much, I got him tattooed on my arm.
Well, I mean, mostly. You don't have all of them.
No, I don't, because
licked some of them off.
My cat Frush used to lick my arm so much that he licked off some of my tattoo. He is no longer with us.
I mean, we could get it fixed.
We could, yeah. I'm sure our buddy would do it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, our buddy, remember when we first started this, we said that our tattoo guy moved to Utah? He's back, baby.
That didn't work out so well.
He's back. He's in Calgary now.
And he's still going to do pop-ups nearby in the town that we used to go to get tattoos by him. He's just going to do it in his friend's shop, so now we can keep getting more tattoos.
Woot.
Yay.
Because he's the bestest.
Yes. Shout out to Rebel Inc. in Calgary if you're looking for a tattoo.
Rebel
Zachary
Inc.
Stevens is legit.
And he's just so goddamn cute. And I mean cute physically and cute spiritually, mentally.
He's just a wonderful human.
He's got a great personality, and he's very smart. And he's so ready to laugh.
Always.
You know?
Always
he's just a really good kid. He does drag too, and he's fucking gorgeous. In drag.
I'm really thoroughly jealous that you can be that attractive as a man or a woman.
I know. It's not fair.
Yeah.
And have the talent that he has.
Yep.
For drawing and tattooing and shit. Like, that's just way too much for any human.
Yeah.
Stop it already.
I'm quite envious.
We're looking at you, Zach.
Yeah.
We're looking at you. Okay. On that note, I think Hannah's gonna wrap this bitch up.
Well, I'd say thanks for tuning in today. We explored all sorts of things, but it's really just part 2 in the tragedy that is the history of our country. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, we still have one part left to cover. So it's probably going to get a little worse before it gets better.
Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah. So if you enjoyed the show, please subscribe, follow, and drop us a like. If you would like to help fund our toxicity, jump on over to ko-fi.com/toxispod.
Do it.
And next episode, we'll finish this up.
Yeah.
And ride this home. So don't miss it. And as always, we will see you then, baneful brethren.
We love you. We love you guys so much. Okay. Bye for now.